a narrower piece of fabric than I ordinarily would, because I want you to be able to see it in the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut about 1/2 inch in, just get past the selvage, and then I'm going to rip it very quickly, and hopefully, and yes I did, I got all the way to the bottom, so that's a good sign to start off with. And then we're going to go to the other side of the piece of fabric, and we're going to do the same. Oh, doesn't want to. How about we'd give it another bit of encouragement? There we go. There. All right. So now we have some edges that need to be pressed as we line them up. Okay, so we have the selvages up at the top. We're going to line those up the very best that we can. Selvages have their own way of being, it seems sometimes. All right, so right now there isn't any sizing in this fabric, and it's just open and ready to be encouraged to be put on straight of green. So I'm going to pin these. And I don't always do this, but I wanted to show you that this is just an extra little safeguard of how you can go about doing this and pinning it all along. And I'm using red pins so that you can see what I'm doing. And then we go along the edge, because this is the important part, are the edges need to be completely aligned. And you can move it into place with your fingers. You have fingernails mostly, not the fingers. You don't want to maul away at the edge of your fabric too badly. It's just a general rule. And during this time, we get to pat our fabric, and we can look at it and admire it. Of course, one of my favorite things. All right, and then we go over to the other side, and we're going to pin that as well. It is one of my firm beliefs that the quilting industry is a billion-dollar industry, because we love fabric and we love to buy fabric and collect fabric, but we don't have to fit it to our bodies. We don't have to just buy the fabrics that are complementary to our complexion or our hairstyles or hair color, any of that sort of thing. So we can just make quilts and use whatever fabrics and combinations that we like to our heart's content. I love that. Okay, so there, I didn't put pins down into the corner because our iron is going to go there. So how much encouragement do we need to provide now? That's maybe a little counterintuitive, but make sure your pins are in straight. But I'm going to use a little bit of water and just spritz it a little bit. Like I said, this could be a time when you want to use your steam, but I rarely use steam. There are times and places. So there, it's looking pretty good. Let's continue down and over to our corner here. And over and into our corner, because we want to create a new pressed fold here. All right, so let's take these out to a certain point. Oops. And press that over. Press this over, keeping in mind that we are always checking to make sure that it is completely aligned as we go along. So that's the point of straightening it. We know that we're on straight of the grain on these sides now. And that's the all-important alignment. Okay, just about done. There, so I guess we could take these ones out of the top. Nice press as well. see what we got on the other side. Good. Press and checking all along. I just put those in my way, didn't I? Pressing and checking all along. Now, this would be the time when we want to start putting some body back into our fabric. So, because it's still very open, very soft. So now we could start applying some best press or some flatter and put some body back into it. Now we're going to be careful that we're not waving the iron. We want to keep things going straight and not create little puckers. And again, here. Keeping things aligned. And over to the side here. We're not pushing the fabric because we don't want to push it again out of the straight of grain. Okay, and I'll turn it over. And again. Because we need to do both sides. Both sides need to have some body put back into them. Oops. There we go. I'm going to find a bit. Okay, did we pull that off a little bit? I did pull that off just a slight bit there. But the sides are completely aligned on each side there. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to bring it up, still keeping it aligned. And like I said, sometimes the selvage will have a mind of its own, but the important part is here and here. And we just want to take that up nice and straight. And we want to press another fold down here. So when we go to make our first cut and any of the next ones, we don't want to have any pleats in there. Okay, so if this was a large piece of fabric, I'd be folding it up. This one doesn't have very much to fold, but ordinarily there'd be quite a stack on that side because I'm a right-handed person. So let's head on over